Hello everyone and welcome to my very requested video that is my VHS tutorial in Hitfilm Express. So you should start by dragging your footage in. Now we have to make it fit into the frame and we copy it and paste 2 more times. Now this is we did this actually to make the color fringing effect. So we rename one to red, the red channel, name the other one to green, and the third one to blue. Great. Now renaming them won't actually do anything, so we just hide the first 2 and we search for the effect called levels histogram. This is a bit different than the tint effect because it will actually remain the red channel. It basically is better. So for the red one we go to green and set the green output white to 0. We basically disable the green and do the same thing for blue. And now it's completely red. Next, do that for the green layer. Go to red, decrease it to 0, and not alpha. Go to blue and decrease it also to 0. And the last thing for the blue layer, go to red, decrease it to 0, and green, decrease it to 0. Now to see them all at once, you should set their blend mode to add. Now this doesn't look like anything has changed, but we can move them around and do different effects for separate channels. And that is great. Now we are gonna apply an effect called angle blur, and firstly onto red. Now I like this as its default, but for the blue we will make it a bit different. Maybe rotate it 90 degrees and make it a bit longer. Yeah, I like this. This is good. And action. Yeah. Okay. This is it for the color fringing. So we'll actually name our composite shot color fringing. Okay. It's time for the new composite shot, and we can call it distortion. Now we will apply many different distortions on this composite shot. So this is our footage, and now it's time to make the reference composite shots. We'll make our displacement maps. So make a new composite shot, displacement map 1. So make a new main layer and go to the effects and actually put the effect called fractal noise. Fractal noise, and change it to wood, change it to block, and in the axis scale settings, to block I said, change it so it has these sort of uniform cubes all over the place, like this, and animate the seed. So at the end, it's 200, like this. Now we put our displacement map 1 in this, and insert the effect called displacement. For the source layer, select DM1, and select these both to luminance. And I think this is a bit too much, so set them both to 2 pixels. Now you can pre-render this to see how do you like it, and change the settings around until it's just right. Okay, now it's time for the next displacement map. So we start with the DM2 name, make a new layer, plane layer, search for the effect fractal noise again, and for this one we go to the transform, X scale, and stretch it on the X like this, and squish it on the Y, and then we should animate it, the seed, go to the end, and about 500. Now let's see how this looks. It looks good. So we go to the distortion, put in this composite shot, and duplicate the displacement here, and select DM2, vertical displacement, put it to off, and we're actually going to animate this one. So first it's 0, and actually let's do this. Okay, so we go a bit further in the video, maybe again 0, and here make it really big, and then 0 again. And now we have this signature that we copy and paste all over the video like this, and maybe pack it more densely, maybe 1 here. Yeah, this should be good. And now we watch it to see how that looks. Yeah, this is very good. So the next distortion layer, make a new composite shot, name it DM3. Now for this one you have to do some external work, make an image in any image editor, and make it a gradient. It's so on the top it's the middle gray, like right in the middle between black and white, and at the bottom it's just white. So we place it down here, and in the transform we keyframe the position, go a bit in the future and make it go to the top and then back to the bottom like this, and we copy and paste it all over this. So sometimes it just jumps up like this. Yeah, this is a bit too much, so I'm gonna delete some of these, and here. Yeah, so let's see how this looks. Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, so now we select some random keyframes. Oops. Just to make them select them to the instant transition. I don't know how you call it this, but this square thing like this. Oops. And now it should want them just pop up and down. Like this. Okay. This is pretty good, so we scale this to fit. We are gonna do some adjustments later to this, but for now, just put it here, color fringing, duplicate this, and select to DM4, remove the keyframing, and increase it a bit. Oh, actually put it to minus, so let's see how this looks. Nice, it's pretty nice, but we actually want this to curve, not to just go straight. So we are actually going to use the curves effect on this. So since we are working from this middle gray to white, we just place a point here just to lock it on this position. And now curve this, so now it should curve like this. See, it goes like this, not sharply. Actually, I'm gonna curve it a bit more. It should look a bit better, yeah. And now we scale this to fit and watch how it looks. It's a minor detail, but it makes the footage look better. Okay. Next is the shaking effect. Put this on the color fringing, and in the individual controls, disable X shake and tilt shake. So let's see. It's shaking. Maybe a bit on the smooth, and we're also going to animate this one with the amount. Let's see, amount first. It's gonna shake to the beginning. Oh yeah, also disable motion blur. And now it's to 0, so it has kind of a shaky start. Maybe make it a little bit longer. Yeah, like this. And now we just set this to 0, then to the maximum, and to 0 again. And we created a signature when it just starts shaking and then stops. And we can just copy and paste it all over this footage. Like this. Also, I should point this out. In the wrap, set the both X and Y to tile. So the next composite shot will be the final effects and some overlays. So we just put this distortion in here and make a new grade layer with our final effects. Now the first one is grain. Yeah, I think the default looks pretty good. Oops. So the next one is Derez. And disable the pixelation. Also, you can keep these wavy lines, but make them less noticeable. And these horizontal lines, I like to make them a bit stronger. The next is curves. I actually forgot those earlier, so we actually put them before the grain and Derez effects. Maybe a bit more contrast. Yeah. Make it look a bit more VHS-y. Maybe like this. And now it's time for some overlays. So the first one is called VHS VCR interference noise. Now go to the trimmer, and about 41 seconds in should start the part we need. So we drag it here. On the transform we fit it to frame, and set the blend mode to screen, so only the bright parts show. And now we should have this this thing at the bottom that all the VHS footage has. Next one is VHS glitch line. You should put it right away, transform it, fit to frame, and set the blend mode also to screen. And now you should have these overlays. Also, the final effect that we should do is to make a new gray layer, and the effect is called layer box. Now on the controls, set the aspect ratio to 4:3, because that's the aspect ratio where all the VHS footage was shot in. Now go all the way back to the first composite shot called color fringing, because I actually forgot to do something. Make a new text layer, and just write play, and this arrow right here. Now set the font to VCR OSD mono. Oops, not this. VCR OSD mono, and increase the size like this. Now actually make it visible only for a short time in the beginning, and now cut the footage right here. Also duplicate the text, and this one put lower here, and make a date here. Now I'm actually going to put something, I don't know, like this, and this make visible for the shot, for the rest of the shot. Like this, and when we go to the final shot, it should be shown right here. Now this part is optional, but you can put some old damaged VHS sounds. I'm gonna link everything in the description, but I'm gonna make them a bit less audible, so they're not as loud. One thing you can also do, if you want, go to the end of your footage, and there you can place some static noise over your video, like this. So set the blend mode to screen, and transform it to fit to frame. Now we need to make the intro and outro with that channel and no signal things. So we should make this just blue screen, maybe. Okay. So make a new plain layer, and make the color something like dark blue, something like this. Go to the final, and copy this DRS effect, paste it here, and also copy this grain and paste it here, like this. Then go to the color fringing and copy the play, also paste it, but write something like maybe, oops, channel 3 and then make it switch to VCR like this, and like you switch the source and take this called VCR tape going in sound, but kind of delay the sound, so it starts when it switches to VCR, and prolong this to the end of the composite shot like this, and right in the middle cut this and type VCR no, or maybe signal lost. Okay. Next, take the VHS VCR interference noise and put it right from the beginning, so right here, and set the blend mode to screen, and also transform it to fit the frame, but make it lower like this, so it's under the grade. Also, one thing you can do is to go to your distortion composite shot, take this layer and select this first displacement effect, and then just import this DM1 and paste the effect to all of the text layers. So just paste it and set the source layer to DM1. So this is the final thing you have to do. Go to the editor and place everything together. So about 0.8 when the sound effect stops, cut this, place your footage that you want to have in your project, and then take another blue screen, but time it to show when this signal lost, when this signal lost text is showing up. So your footage ends and it cuts the VCR signal lost.